Remember when I said that last season calmed down a bit? Well, someone must have thought my watch list wasn't full enough and shoved another packed season down our throats. Yep, spring 2024 is loaded with a lot of great, interesting, and diverse anime. Really hard not to have at least 20 shows on my radar. And that's not including the crazy amount of sequels we're getting, from Mushoku, Konosuba, My Hero, Demon Slayer, and a bunch more. So, mainly focusing on the new stuff, here's a bunch of my favorite anime from spring that I think you should check out. There's a lot of them, so let's get to it. Starting with probably the biggest non-sequel, Kaiju No. 8. With the more than deserved rise of Godzilla, it's perfect timing for an anime about giant monsters. And what a show! It centers on a Japan with regular kaiju attacks. To fight this, they have this epic military unit, the Defense Corps, who have this awesome fight sequence in episode 1. But after they defeat the monster, the cleanup crew has to come in and take care of the remains. And here we focus on Kafka, a 32-year-old guy who once wanted to take on every kaiju out there, but after constantly failing the test to join the force, he has to keep on scooping. But after a freak encounter and somehow surviving, he's determined to try one more time to get in, but gets attacked by a flying bug that turns him into a kaiju. So he has to hide this new form and try to live his dream without getting killed in the process. Yeah, another action anime with a protag turning into the enemy. But the action and comedy combo really lets it shine by itself. The character and monster designs are great. Really helps convey the range of the epic action to the hilarious gags and jokes. I mean, look at this. Then this. Perfectly balanced. And it's cool seeing a protag who's not a teen. Like, I'm gonna be that old someday. Really enjoyable so far. But if it's not Godzilla destroying Japan, how about something even worse? Mobile networks. But not some of that weak 5G stuff. Nah, we're going all the way up to 7G. For some reason. Yeah, this is a weird one. A sleazy company activates a 7G network, but it makes the whole country go crazy. One town in particular has the adults turn into animals. And we focus on 4 girls that go on a journey aboard a train to find their friend who is in the root of all of this. Very weird premise, but I'm actually enjoying it. Since they play up the random phenomena, we get different crazy scenarios each episode. Seems lighthearted, but there are bits of dark stuff here and there. A bit of a fast pace aside, this one seems promising. If they keep up with the weirdness, this could be great. Also weird, we got mysterious disappearances. Somewhat like Dark Gathering last year, we get a trio of quirky characters looking for yokai and weird occurrences, since the guy needs to collect cursed articles to reach his goal. It's heavily based on Japanese folklore and urban legends, and they do a pretty good job keeping me invested in how the mysteries will unfold. It's not as scary as Dark Gathering, but it still has some unsettling and creative stuff. But it does go the Miruko-chan route with the fan service. I mean, look at this girl. She's got some huge boobs. I mean, some serious honkers. A real set of badonkers. I couldn't get through the OP and not laugh. But again, the mysteries are interesting. So, a little mixed, but could be good. These next 3 have one thing in common. They're currently licensed by Disney. And if you've been paying attention to the last couple of years, or you watched Jeff's video, series like this have had a rough time catching traction because of how hard it is to watch them legally. They would have been huge if they were more available. Sandland, one of the series Akira Toriyama was last involved in, has gotten little to no mention or marketing. And this, right after he sadly passed away, is crazy to me. So speaking of the show, I think it's really fun. A quirky adventure where some creative and charming characters are trying to look for water in this barren wasteland. And you can expect Akira's iconic humor and personality. And yeah, a lot of it is CGI, but it's implemented really well, with awesome faces and reactions. A fun series that really deserves more attention. Also on Disney Plus, Mission Yozakura Family is a fun action comedy about a teen who gets his life completely changed after he's obligated to marry his childhood friend, who secretly is a part of a family of spies. So now he must train in order to live up to their standards, and not die. The cast is fun and varied, lots of good gags, and it looks pretty good. Solid so far. And potentially the gem of the season, Go Go Lizard Ranger is a kind of Power Rangers parody, if you can tell by the name, where the heroes have already defeated the big villains, leaving only the grunts. And since they're somewhat indestructible, they make a deal to fight every week inside a stadium, kinda like a WWE event, with all the one-liners, merch, and it being rigged for the good guys to always win in the end. Tired of this, one of the monsters rebels and sneaks into enemy territory to find a way to destroy them from the inside, which lets us see the dark nature of the heroes. What a simple but awesome concept. Very interesting plot with a great cast of characters with their own goals. Visually great also. Love the expressiveness of the grunts. And the mood can flip on a dime. Seriously, keep an eye on this one if you can. Moving on, we got 2 new adaptations of some older shows. First is about a likable bartender who's a master at figuring out what drink to serve his customers, thanks to context clues and paying attention to details. It's such a chill anime, where random characters pop in the bar and we get treated to a bit of their life, while the bartender makes some really nice looking drinks. I'm not even big on drinking, but the explanation of what goes into the cocktails and their history really grabs my attention and makes me want to try them out. And Spice and Wolf is a fantasy show where a traveling merchant encounters a wolf spirit, who used to be hugely praised for the annual harvest, but as the years went on, just turned into a myth. She decides to join him and go back to her hometown. So they'll travel from place to place and encounter new faces and troubles along the way. The duo are charming and their banter is very fun. The whimsical vibe and setting really hits the spot. Another God Meets World story, but way sillier. A Salad Bowl of Eccentrics is a reverse isekai where a princess with magical powers goes into the real world and is now the partner of a detective who's been having it rough. Typical fish out of water, but it's kinda wild how it goes for the shadier parts of society real quick. Cheating, hostess bars, and a freaking cult. It's a little unhinged, but kinda fun. If you were missing the power struggle parts of Apothecary Diaries, Yatagarasu is a show with a clan where people can transform into giant crows. It focuses on a chosen prince struggling with conspiracies, and his new aide, a rowdy but smart kid who's pushed into this dramatic world out of nowhere. He's no Mao Mao, but their growing relationship is pretty endearing, and I am curious how this conspiracy will turn out. Not bad. And the Grimm Variations, which takes classic Grimm fairy tales and adds an anime twist. So they take Cinderella or Hansel and Gretel and either change the location, the time period, or the characters. And since it's animated by Wit, the different visuals work really well. It is hit or miss, and I might get into it later, but I kinda enjoyed it. Could have been better though. Windbreaker. Obvious joke aside, this one's kind of a banger. It's another young street gang anime, with the newcomer trying to fight his way to the top, since it's the only way he knows after years of ridicule, but the people in this town are actually pretty nice, and the fearing school gang he admires work together in order to protect them. So we follow this socially awkward but strong tsundere, and all these quirky characters. Honestly, really fun, and Cloverworks animating gives it a huge plus. Apart from the typical great designs, gags, and character reactions, their action doesn't back down. Some better fights than whatever Tokyo Revengers is doing. And it's not annoying as hell like Bujikiri, so I'm looking forward to this one doing well. We got a couple of anime about girls forming a band. First, Girls Band Cry. Another CGI show, and it might not be the best I've seen, but those face expressions are beautiful. It's the story of a girl who escaped home to live in Tokyo to prove herself. After a rough day, she meets her favorite singer, and they end up vibing together. I love the personalities, and again, those reactions really help in driving that home. Plus, the music is actually kinda fire. Don't let the CG hate stop you. This has potential. Just like Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, which apart from the cool title, centers on 4 girls with their own issues, who will work together to form a music project. Episode 1 was just so captivating. Seeing this artist finally get some recognition from a failed idol who's trying to reinvent herself. The characters feel real, and it was very emotional. Doga Kobo keeps cooking. Visuals are amazing, the music rocks, the color scheme works great for the setting, and it's kinda funny how there are some similar beats to Oshinoko. It's a cute girls doing stuff show, but with a strong story and a great cast. One more banger from the season. Another one that does this is the Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio, which, explores the many facets a female Japanese VA must face in the industry. It has a serious girl and a gyaru putting on their idol personas for a radio show, in which they start hating each other, but end up forming a bond. It's supposed to be girls' love, and some fan service parts are a little annoying, but it gets a lot more interesting when it shows the hard parts of being a BA idol. Failed casting calls, the obvious comparison with your peers, stalkers, did not expect all the drama. Not perfect, but not bad. Speaking of some romance, Whispered Me a Love Song is also a girls' love anime, but it's way gushier. An energetic Kamari falls in love with the mature Yori's performance in a school concert, and the redhead is quick to let her know. But the senpai is totally new to love, and mistakes it as a serious confession. So we get to see them interact and have the older one try to get her to actually fall for her. It's very cute. Seeing the senpai's shy reactions is pure diabetes. Decent visuals, great vibe, I'd recommend it. My favorite so far though is an Archdemon's Dilemma, where a powerful but socially awkward demon ends up spending all his money to win an auction for an enslaved elf who he immediately fell for, and now he has to find a way to live together without her misunderstanding his intentions, which is hard since he doesn't know how to talk to her. But he really wants to make her happy. Really funny and cute dynamic. His awkward way of trying to open up and her hilarious reactions to him failing just work perfect for a rom-com setting. A little bit like Disgraced Noble Lady from Fall, but I think I'd give this one the edge in terms of laughs. I'm a fan so far. And finally, the Isekai Reincarnation shows. Usually I cover more, but apart from Salad Bowl, I couldn't stick with the handful of others that came out. Except for one that I think got a bit of a bad reputation immediately. I Was Reincarnated as a 7th Prince, stars a weak mage getting killed off, and insert title here. He's super OP from the start, and since he already has an knack for magic, he constantly evolves his spells and is thirsty for more. Kinda like a sorcerer version of Goku. Pretty basic stuff apart from that, but did they really have to give this kid this design? They went ahead and made a femboy magic junkie with a sadistic side. So yeah, the fan service is very apparent, but it's equal opportunities, I guess. But it's really hard for me to hate this show, because visually it's way better than it deserves to be. The magic looks awesome and different, the fights are good, and they constantly change the visual style to deliver on the actually funny gags. Such a generic show, but the execution is great. The MC looking like that, and the constant fan service is distracting. But I dare to say that if you can look beyond that, it's somehow a lot of fun. It's not a high quality show I'd usually recommend, but it's some fun, turn your brain off trash that you might get a kick out of. I kinda did. But seriously, why? And those are my picks for spring 2024. There are more shows I didn't talk about, and if you're interested in that, please let me know in the comments. And leave a like and subscribe if you can. I might find a way to talk about everything without making it too long, so stay tuned for that. As always, thank you so much for your patience. Hopefully this came out quicker than I hoped for, and if not, maybe this helped in introducing a show you might have missed. I can't control work in real life, but I appreciate everyone who stuck around. I wish I was more consistent, but it is what it is. But again, thanks so much for watching and hearing me out. And as always, it's been Jules, I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you all for the next one.